ranch, as you might have saw in the thumbnail, we have a roof over the Land Rover's heads. Maybe not quite a roof. We have a building started. Today you get to watch a few guys who've never done it before throw up a pole building. One of them is terrified of heights. We're getting close, guys. We are getting close to being able to have the Nada back indoors. Out of the collection, which other ones do you feel are worthy of getting a spot in the shop? Because those of you following along know I'm not building the shop big enough for what we have laying around, unfortunately. So the Eco's back to doing some heavy hauling. Not quite sure it's rated for that, but no, we just moved all the 6x6s and the rest of the wood down closer, because who wants to carry it? But we're starting to come along. Got a few of them up in the air, a couple on the ground. Sasha messing up the string line. You think that's the best place for you to lay? We've been digging through the pile looking for the straightest ones for the corners, and obviously the ones that got a little kick to them we can throw on the side and adjust for that. Then I went ahead and looked, see that length difference. Then once again I realized I'm not the smartest person on earth. That one there is supposed to have that extra length up there, but the rest of them look nice. So we'll yank the one behind me down, put the correct one up so the building doesn't fall over. Such a shame too, look at how perfect that one is. Oh yeah, we don't have the Sasha found a root to chew on. See, it's nice when it's still in the ground. You don't have to hold on to it.
Front or back?
Yep. What's another heavy one?
This one got a little wet.
So we are down to just the corners now. It's one tall boy.
Go right on top of the bowl.
Okay. All right, so we're down to the last pole. Left the heavy one and the corner. This way, when it falls, it's got further to fall. All right, so all our posts are up. It's really starting to look like something in here. Ain't much that gets Sasha too excited. You can dig right at her butt and she'll just stay there. All right, so we're gonna get girts on the back side of the building. With Ted's suggestion, we angled and completely squared up, plumbed, whatever you want to call it, all our posts on the back. So those will obviously be pulled back off once we have the girts in place. But we're gonna run as many rows as we can, reach from the ground. Would you look at that? We are just rocking right through here. So we're about 5 hours in on the first day of putting the stuff up It's going swimmingly. I'm running some 1/2-inch bolts through all the post brackets. And now that we have a couple rows of girts and some bracing, we can lock these posts down. Before the end of the night, we'll run a couple more exterior braces at an angle to make sure this guy doesn't flop over. But we're gonna have our Land Rover shop quicker than I thought. I mean, obviously it's not gonna be as exciting for you as it is for me, but this is pretty killer. It's not huge by any means, but I'm much happier now that it's getting framed up. I mean, if building Land Rovers doesn't work out, we got a crew, we could start doing pole barns. Probably not. Sasha, I think we had a pretty good day. Just ran a couple braces for overnight in case we get a tornado. No, nothing in the forecast, but you know how that goes. Had a lot of great helpers today, so it went smoothly. We will be back in the AM, and we'll keep throwing wood on.
So if you're not quite straight.
Look at how fancy we are getting around here. That's right, now we even have scaffolding, so we can get more up. As it turns out, not tall enough to go beyond this point.
Quit shaking more than I am. Dylan's getting tired. I'll drop it through.
All right, so we are at the end of day 2 of the erection, and pretty much all the girts, yes, girts, the other ones are purlins, hard to remember, are up. Thanks to the scaffolding, that made it a lot easier. I'm obviously a pro on the scaffolding and definitely not terrified of heights. I was made short for a reason. I like to be firmly planted on soil, but we got her done. Had a lot of great help again today. Couldn't have done it without everyone. But it is starting to shape up. And it is really starting to feel real. Really starting to feel real. What are you doing up in the woods? Come on, let's go in. Come on. Site supervisor checking the perimeter. She was out lounging most of the day, but did a lot of work today too, didn't you? One ear up. We were able to pretty much knock off all the lumber that we had picked up on the first round. We have one 2x4 left. Just imagine we have a Rover, no saw. I was a little worried in the beginning, but I think we're gonna have enough ceiling height to put the mezzanine back there. I mean, I wasn't really worried, but now seeing it, definitely have enough room to do a mezzanine. Then what do you guys think on windows? Kind of want a couple over here. I don't think I want any up front, but down on the back side, I'm not quite sure. Obviously, probably should put a window up in the office and the bathroom. Should I do any lower? What do you guys think? Maybe some up top on the back, maybe nothing on the back. I'm definitely open for input. So just grab the last load of lumber. That should be everything. Minus we need some trusses. Those would be kind of helpful right around there. But this is the rest of the lumber. Most of these are the roof purlins. We got our LVLs underneath there for the header. And that is what we're gonna work on next. If we get the header in there, we have the walls pretty much all complete. Tip tap tarp tip Tuesday for the underpowered guys. Being with our luck on the rain, I'd like to get it covered up, especially since this stuff is last. This goes on top of the roof. And typical Joe fashion, I stacked it backwards. I need the stuff on the bottom first. They're gonna have to sit for like a week or two, so I figure if they're bundled together, less chance of them warping and becoming W's and whatnot. All right, it is the morning of day 3. Maybe it's 4. Might be 4, might be 3, but it is the morning of whatever that day is. And today, going to frame out a garage door. Last night when it was dark out, I got the grade board in for the front. This one's just got a couple screws because that guy will come back off once we have our truss height set. I just want it in there so we can figure out where we're at. Built this little guy, this little stub column, a few 2x6s sandwich. So there we have a pole. Truss is going to sit on that. Problem we run into on this end is the garage door is in the way and the truss needs to be there. So that's what the header goes to. This guy is going to go in between those 2x6s and the two LVLs. Truss is going to slot right in there, be nice and sturdy. We routed out that to match up flush with the LVL.
Whoops! Oh, I got it!
Generator's down! It ain't working. We're out on top the X.
Got it.
But once again, we are under a rain delay. The rest of the country is under a drought. But right here in Iowa, I'm building a shop, so we get rain every day. No, I'm just... funny thing to be complaining about, but no, it's all right. We need the rain. We have a garage door all in place. Right now, determining how we're gonna notch the trusses up top. Got a battery-powered circular saw, but kind of a little sketchy if it kicks back or anything. And you're up there. May try a chainsaw. Nice thing about this thing so far, though, is this is the entire cutoffs up until this point, with pretty much the entire walls all settled minus some corner braces. Nice to be working on multiples of 8, I guess, for lumber. There's where we stand right now. Next step is trusses. We're starting to get a good visual on the sizing. Got our 12x12 door. That header right there, that's going to be, the trusses are going to sit right on that and go across. So the top of that LVL is ceiling height all the way across. It got much more sizable looking when we got some walls in place. Currently waiting on the steel to come in. That should be in the next week or so. Excited for you guys to see the colors. There's a tiny bit of scaffolding in the way, but that kind of gives you an idea of how much room we have in front of a D1. Nothing overly huge, but we already knew that. But you could put another car sideways in here in front if we wanted to pack them in. But more than likely, somewhere in that vicinity where the saw is, we're going to sink an in-ground scissor lift in eventually. That still leaves us a fair amount of room in the rest of the shop. This corner, like I said, gonna be flat work area, probably the LS3 Defender at first. And then right here, I'd like to do a 4-post. So side by side, while still having this area open for working. And back here, probably maybe out to the pole, maybe a little bit further, we're going to do a second floor on a mezzanine. That's gonna house an office, bathroom, or bathroom office. Depends if I want to walk through a stinky bathroom to get to the office, or have everyone trape through the office if they have to go to the bathroom. Not sure on that. Let me know what order you think. And underneath that, we will have eventually CNC plasma with a little room, and then all the fab tools will be underneath that mezzanine and keep that mess there. We'll do a filtered exhaust fan for the plasma out the back through that wall. But each thing we go, we're getting closer and closer to having a roof over our Land Rover's heads. This is super exciting. I've had a bigger shop before, but this one is at home now, which is like a different kind of feeling. Appreciate you guys all following along. This has been a pretty big video. Obviously, the most visual change on the shop. I don't think we did too bad for a few clowns who've never put up a pole barn before, but that's just me and my ego. It's a shop shaping up. If you haven't yet, subscribe. We'll have more shops and Rovers. And if you found it entertaining watching us greenhorns, that's another term I learned from watching TV. Make sure to give us a like. Helps with the YouTube stuff. With that being said, catch you on the next one. We need to get a lift. That's gonna be interesting. As you saw, I'm a tiny bit scared of heights. Look at how tall it is. This is small, but what it lacks in size, it makes up for in height. Hey look, we have the Rover home and we have the Rover home.